obviously was on his mind yesterday. Another thing that was on my mind, and I'd heard about and was talked about a little bit in Las Vegas, and then even verified yesterday, was Adam Silver, kind of another state of the NBA, with a lot of media there in Las Vegas, all gathered and asking a few things. And he brought up, and Vegas was kind of fitting for this because there's been rumors for a while about the NBA expanding. It certainly makes sense. They've talked about it and they've kind of pushed it down the road a little bit, saying, like, let's wait till we get the new television deal. Well, check. We've got that. That's been done. It's a very, very hefty deal for the NBA. Now that that's happened, the rumors have been Las Vegas and Seattle. And I think a lot of that makes sense. You get a couple more teams out west. I think you could do one more tweak of realignment, maybe move Memphis, who's currently in the Western Conference, or Minnesota. One of those two likely, but probably Memphis, to the Eastern Conference. Get yourself 32 teams, 16 in each conference. You'll have to do a little bit of tweaking to the schedule potentially. I think it helps the Cup as far as a balance in Cup games. And then, the one thing it would do, let's keep in mind, you've got right now more than half the league making the playoffs. Well, you'd have half the league making the playoffs. With the play-in, you'd have slightly more, but it's a really good shot of a majority of the teams being in the playoff mix and or play-in mix. Now you'd have a few more, two more that you'd add, and would change the numbers a little bit. But with this seeming like it was going to be inevitable, now it is slowed down. And part of the slowing down is maybe finding out more information. But the other part, Chris, and you're going to love this because I know you love when wealthy people are concerned about making more money. But I'm sure no one is shocked by this, but the people mostly, from what I'm hearing, that are behind the pause in expansion are the owners. And part of the decision is, look, NBA just agreed to this brand new television deal. They're going to get a ton of money. There's this influx of cash coming to NBA owners. There's 30 of them. So 30 splitting this influx of cash is better than 32 splitting this influx of cash. That's a little bit of the reservation, according to some reports. The other part is...
Wow, sure does sound like a monopoly.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I'm sure there's spreading down to players and or broadcasters. Yeah, we know that. Anyway, the way Adam Silver described it yesterday, which I believe there's some truth to this, he basically said, now we're in the do the work phase of this, which I would have thought already would have started. But what I internalized this to be is this. I believe Adam Silver would like some expansion. Now he works for the owners. So what do the owners want? If they're less willing to jump into an area that has 32 owners and split up the pot, I understand that. But I think what it's going to come down to is, all right, let's figure out if we add 2 new teams with what the expansion fee should be. What do those numbers look like when that's being added to the owner's coffers here? And then we're splitting that and so on and so forth. Thinking about diluting the league a little bit. I'm sure there's some of that from the league office standpoint, and the players. I don't know what the Players Association is probably like. Look, we would rather have more opportunities for more people to get in this league and experience this great sport and wealth and all the opportunities that come that way. So I think that's where the work is coming in here from the league. They got to find out the benefits of adding 2 new teams, the distractions of adding 2 new teams, the benefits of what cost will look like for owners getting the expansion fees, teams losing probably a player, right? You're going to have to put some players up for the expansion draft, just how it impacts all of that. And so I think that's the work that's going to happen now. But I was not shocked to hear that maybe there was some resistance, and not like it's like, hey, there's no way we're expanding. I don't think that's the message that's being sent here. I just think it felt like a formality and that it was done, and now it doesn't. So it still could go that road. I think they're going to do some more deep diving and get into the numbers and the nuance of pro expansion versus, not doing it, what that looks like. And that's the next phase. But he also talked about maybe even setting up, European basketball, like another European NBA, as opposed to, maybe having a team or two over there. It'd be more like having a separate league, what that could look like. So basketball, really all sports, but basketball is always kind of looking in an aggressive way to help make the game better. I think that's something that David Stern was doing. Adam Silver certainly has taken the ropes from there. And maybe you don't like the cup tournament, maybe you love the cup tournament, but they're trying it. They're trying different things. The play-in, I thought at first, I'm like, do we really need team 9 and 10? Like, what are we doing here? But it has added to it. It has helped curb tanking. We have more teams competing, more teams near 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 at the trade deadline making trades to try to be buyers instead of sellers and go, yeah, let's go for it, because the lottery system has been tweaked and there's no guarantee for having the worst record to get the best player. So I think the sport is trying. I think there's still a lot of greed. That's an obvious statement. I think that's everywhere in all walks of life, and probably does a lot of damage to a lot of people in that sense. But they're trying to find that area that says, look, let's do the work. Let's see if expansion makes the most amount of sense. And we'll keep you informed on that. All right, 2 hours done. 2 hours to go. When we come back in the 8 o'clock hour, we went from one commission